All right, today, so let's talk about troubleshooting and Amazon FBA business. So common issues that sellers face at some point. We're going to be talking about this kind of like solving framework. So, I mean, whenever we have issues, it's so easy to get kind of lost in the details and kind of lack this clarity. So how do we actually are able to get that clarity, and what do we really need to do in order to get the grip of the situation and really get control? So let's talk about it. So yeah, I mean, the biggest cause of stress and anxiety is uncertainty. I was yesterday reading some like articles and kind of like research regarding this, and it said like interesting thing that the human brain is an anticipation machine, and making the future is the most important thing it does. So yeah, I mean, when you put it like this, it kind of makes sense. Like, why do we get this kind of like anxiety and stress out of uncertainty? So I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? And Tony Robbins said that the quality of your life is directly related to how much uncertainty you can comfortably handle. And yeah, I mean, I would say that it's pretty spot on. Like, it kind of varies from person to person. Like, I'm the kind of person that I'm pretty comfortable with uncertainties. Like, let's say that, like, for example, when I did like road trip on my own, I mean, a lot of times I didn't even know where I'm going to sleep like that night, or I didn't even have like specific steps, specific directions, or specific like destinations even. So I was just kind of like going with the flow, and just I was pretty like comfortable doing that. But for example, for a person like my spouse, I mean, that she would go crazy. She wouldn't want to do this, because I mean, it would cause her like tremendous amount of like anxiety and stress, like having that level of uncertainty. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's nice that like if you are able to deal with uncertainty, then I mean, you will have better quality of life. No, yeah, that's nice and dandy, right? But it doesn't really solve the problem. So because let's say we are having issues right now, but we are not able to like clearly pinpoint what is the issue. So really the best cure for uncertainty is clarity. Okay, so how do you get clarity then? Well, what we can do is that we can use this problem solving framework to kind of like get better understanding of the situation. Meaning, first step is define the problem. And by the way, this is also the same thing that we always make our like employees use, that our team members get really used to this framework, because when they are able to master this, then I mean, the output you get from them is much better. So let's go through it. So step number one, define the problem. So clearly describe the issue or challenge. What is it like in details? Then, I mean, what is the root cause of it? Meaning that you could use, like, for example, 5 whys, meaning why, to really identify the main reason or source that is causing the problem. Like, okay, my problem is that my product listing, I mean, I have no sales. Okay, fine. I don't have any sales. And then I can start saying, well, I mean, the product listing doesn't have traffic. okay, why doesn't it have traffic? Or maybe it has traffic, but the conversion is so low. Okay, why is the conversion so low? So you kind of, is it the images? Is it something else? Is the product listing optimized? So this helps you to figure out that what is the thing that actually causing the issue. And here, it's super important that we don't use our team members just as kind of like reporters, meaning that they would just, tell us all the issues, but, not give any input that what we should actually be doing about it. So they actually need to suggest possible solutions. So explore various options or actions that could address the problem, meaning that they do brainstorming and list different options that could be used. And then most importantly, which of these is the one that they will actually suggest in doing. So which solution will you choose? So decide on the most effective course of action to resolve the problem. Okay, so let's take an example, an existing business with some issues. So situation might be that, okay, I mean, you realize that things are not ideal, there's issues, but that it doesn't help. It doesn't give you anything concrete. It doesn't give you specific action steps in order to resolve. And fine, we could just say like Tony Robbins that, yeah, no, yeah, let's just get comfortable with this uncertainty. No, I mean, that's not gonna fix the issues. We want to fix the issues. So let's use the framework. Okay, step number one is defining a problem. So clearly describe the issue or challenge at hand. Okay, so here's something about product quality during manufacturing. So product quality problems in each batch is always surprising how new problems occur. The quality control never passes in the first try. We are doing full inspections currently. For that reason, to maximize our speed to not sending bad units to Amazon. And it's causing delays and re-inspections costs, meaning that there's additional quality inspections and so on. Okay, I mean, it makes sense. So there's quality issues, which on Amazon will result in getting bad reviews, getting refunds, having to send replacements. So product quality, I mean, that's always number one thing you need to have when you're selling on Amazon. Because it's not like if you have your own store and someone gives you a negative review, then I mean, okay, you can just delete it. So you cannot like kind of ignore it. Or if they give a chargeback, then you can work around it. So, but on Amazon, we have to take it like super serious. And whenever like product has quality issues, those are the most difficult things to fix, because it requires that we might actually have to be doing changes to the product itself, and it might even be that that the supplier isn't able to fix those. Okay, so let's see what is the root cause. Let's see what we have here. So identify the main reason or source that is causing these problems. So this supplier, I mean, okay, it's just incapable to deliver constant high quality. Doesn't inform when they change the factory. Okay, so the supplier in this case means actually trading agents. So the trading agents is just using different suppliers and doing some changes in the productions. So, okay, we're saying have to do this first supplier and hope for better in each order. Avoid to start finding new supplier by not having correct, having explicit demand to make an approval. The product is made from difficult material and complex product. Didn't have enough knowledge to take into account everything and quality inspection. And by the way, that's why we also have in the perfect product blueprint like why we talk about these things already there, because if you're having quality issues, then in many cases it might actually even be that that it doesn't make even sense to go forward with that product opportunity. And you can see it from the like reviews. Like if you are looking at the product opportunity and then you're like analyzing, like should I go with this, and then you start looking at the competitors' negative reviews, and every single one is complaining that, oh, there's quality issues. Yeah, I had to ask for a refund. No, I sent it back to Amazon. This is garbage. And like if every single competitor has those kind of like one-star reviews specifically about the quality, then we should be super wary about that. Okay, when we are actually sourcing this, then I mean we have to be super careful that they are going to be fixing those issues. And in some cases it might be that no, I mean we are not able to fix these things, so which means that okay, I mean look into some product opportunity, some other product. Okay, next question. What are possible solutions? Meaning that you explore various options or actions that could address the problem. Okay, finding new suppliers. Yeah, find and test new suppliers, sourcing agents, background checks of sourcing agents, prepare professional product specifications and documents. Yeah, pre-negotiate conditions, building and maintaining good relationship with suppliers or source from Vietnam to avoid China risk. Yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't necessarily say that these things are China only. It pretty much applies to sourcing in general. I mean, what I'm basically, my comment is that, I mean, every batch needs to be inspected based on the inspection report, and that's just the way it goes. And it's not really about China. I mean, we have experienced the same thing in different countries. I mean, even in like Western countries, that if we let them be sloppy, they're gonna be sloppy. So one purpose of the quality inspections is to always, I mean, always keep the supplier on their toes and kind of like set the expectation that we are going to like quality inspect every single batch. And if there's defective items, then the supplier is going to be replacing those, and so on. So if the issues are small, then I mean here is really important to like understand, like these kind of things really depend on the product and the complexity. And one thing we care about when we sell on Amazon is the product, like the customer experience. So if the customer experience is really bad, if these things go wrong, then basically, I mean, the question we need to ask ourselves that is like, can the customer live with these issues? So it's basically a yes or no. I mean, can they live with it or not? Like, or what about you as a customer? Like, would you be able to live with it? And I can say, like, we also have some bamboo products, and yeah, it is kind of like difficult material, because what we have experienced, like, it tends to change quite a bit. Like, well, okay, I mean, wood always changes over time, but we had this one product basically, which was that it's assembled, it's made out of bamboo, and it's basically assembled. But what ended up happening is that then it becomes like flimsy if it's not tight. So when the customer experienced it, like, I could completely understand that they're going to be really angry because, you know, it's supposed to be sturdy and so on, but it's flimsy and it can easily like fall over. So then this is all, I mean, ideally we need to take into this consideration already, like when we are looking into this product opportunity. So if we don't have the expertise in this product, in these materials, then that's just something that we need to do. And it's cool that nowadays we can also use AI as a tool. I mean, as ChatGPT says that, okay, we are considering this kind of material, this kind of product, like what are the typical things that I need to look out for as a like in quality inspections? What are all the possible things that can go wrong? Yeah, but anyway, so if the issues are small, then typically we don't have a second inspection, but it really depends on the product complexity. Like here, if it's a high risk that if these issues are not fixed, that we are gonna getting really angry customers, then I mean, we typically also already make it in this like negotiation phase, meaning that we tell the supplier that we're going to do quality inspection for every single batch, and if they find something, then I mean, obviously, I mean, you're going to like get replacements, but then additionally, we're going to be having like second inspection. I mean, and you're going to be paying for it. So that's something to take into consideration. But yeah, let's go forward with this manufacturing. Okay, so prolonged manufacturing time, long and prolonged manufacturing times. It seems that the supplier is not able to manufacture the bats in 1 month. Suppliers constantly misses deadlines and seems to be comfortable reaching 55 manufacturing days, I guess, which makes you suspect how difficult or easy is it to reach in 30 days. This problem is causing loss of sales, I mean, out of stock, and increased like cash conversion cycle. And yeah, absolutely. The manufacturer, what is the root cause? Okay, I mean, bad manufacturer. No idea how quickly other suppliers could be manufacturing the product. Can't stick to the agreement. And what are possible solutions? Find new suppliers and shop around. Learn to negotiate by reaching out other suppliers. Negotiate this overall deal in a way that the manufacturers and suppliers have buffer in their warehouse. Alex has a question. Yeah, go ahead. You can unmute your mic or.
Hey, Tony.
Hey.
Yeah. So this is a really I think a great process and good information, but where I'm having some pause is so like for people like me, which I'm not sure how many of others on this call are in a similar kind of progress level, who have maybe just kind of started the low risk method, and I, for example, am now just waiting for my first inventory to arrive at Amazon. My listing is created, and I've just been working on optimizing it and so forth. But it just feels like this information is really solid, but I feel like there's a little bit of a gap between my understanding of, to what level, do I need to be at where this is actually, of more significance to, I'm trying to think about how to best communicate the question, but like
for people just starting out.
Yeah, I mean, there's folks that are more starting out, and this is more of like a deep dive into supplier manufacturer relations, and it seems like this is more aligned with when maybe you've identified more of a specific niche or category, or you're actually trying to be inventive with the type of maybe coming up with some derivative products of sorts, or I'm just trying to kind of connect the dots here to when this is going to be more applicable or significant for somebody like me who's more maybe a newbie?
Well, I mean,
guess though this.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Christopher.
Sorry, I'm just talking on your behalf. Yeah, but I think it's still in general pretty solid clarity bringing tool. That's just as far as I understand anyway, this particular problem here is just for an example of.
Yes, exactly. So it's more about the framework. And so you can use basically this framework for any kind of issues, any kind of situation to really get clarity of it. So the example over here is a business that's been already going over a certain time. But of course, like for you, like when you're just launching a new product or you, let's say your first product, I mean, you're still at very early stages. So you like it kind of doesn't necessarily make sense that you would start like thinking about all the potential problems if that's what you're talking about, meaning that you haven't even started but you're already thinking about always potential things that can go wrong. Because thing is also about like risk level. Like let's say that how much risk are you taking if you just take one product live and just 50 units? I mean, time-wise, it's not going to take you long, and money-wise, it's not going to be that much either. But for example, here in this kind of like existing business where they are basically just restocking and ordering, like spending thousands of dollars in inventory, I mean, that's going to be a much like bigger risk level. It also means that if you don't fix it, then it's going to be pretty costly, right?
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand that the risk level for this methodology that I'm employing right now is relatively low, but that's also kind of where, I've been trying to also understand that aspect of like ramp up and, how I should be thinking about scaling even in the short to medium term. Right now, I'm just kind of testing. I'm learning the ropes. Obviously, there's going to be more pain points to overcome, more, easy and hard lessons, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's been going in my mind a lot is like, how should I be, how should I be thinking about scaling and ramping up? Should I be looking at, 2 new products, 6 new products? I mean, I'm diverting off course from this subject, but I guess that's why it feels like there's a gap between what we're talking about here. But I do appreciate this framework.
Yeah. Well, one thing is actually super important in this business model that you don't go ahead of yourself, meaning that you always focus on the task at hand, meaning that, okay, first thing is to get something live, and also like emphasize that there's 2 things that really have to be right in this business model. It's the speed, I mean, launching products quickly. And then second thing is that, I mean, launching multiple products. So you don't launch like 5 products in a year and hope that one picks up. No, instead you could actually just do it like within a few months and so on, right? So what you're right now learning is the ability to quickly launch products quickly, to test out ideas in the marketplace, which is the number one thing you need to be able to master. Because, I mean, even this thing, if sourcing and manufacturing, whatever, I mean, you could spend months doing that, but I mean, and building the skill set on that. But what good does it, I mean, do to you if you don't have any product live on Amazon or what other skill, right? So that's why the first skill and number one skill is also being able to launch products quickly. Okay, cool. But
sorry, may I one comment to
Sure.
Respond to Alex that maybe the point of this slide is also kind of the universal problem analysis process. So you can use it like in your civilian life or wherever. So it's not about the Amazon business right now. So if you have
Yeah.
any kind of problem, so maybe this presentation is showing the process how to analyze the problems and conclude all the way to the solution possibilities.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are basically combining two things here. First is this framework, but then second thing is also how to address these issues that this Amazon FBA business is currently having. So yeah, I mean, we kind of figured out along the way already that, okay, this business is working with the trading agent and not a supplier. So, and that always kind of, for sure, it's going to slow things down. And also, in some cases, it might complicate things as well. But I'm not saying that using trading agents is necessarily bad, because I mean, we work with certain trading agents just because they just give such like good, you know, customer experience, meaning that it's much easier to deal with that one person instead of with all the suppliers that they are using. But it's always super important to keep in mind that it's still a middleman, meaning that he or she is gonna take their cut. So that's gonna, you know, that might actually increase the cost, but at the same time, it's important to realize that that with some of these factories, I mean, many of them don't even speak English. I mean, there's not even one person who speaks English. So are you able to like deal with that? And are you able to, and some of them really have like horrible sales rep, horrible customer service, which means that it can actually give it can be a lot of hassle. But yeah, I mean, this is also a reason like why we need to work with many suppliers for the same product, that we want to have leverage. We want to be able to be in that situation that we are not solely dependent on this one supplier that could just basically dictate everything for us, meaning that they would say that no, they refuse to do this or that, and then basically we are left with nothing. So yeah, so let's go to the next one. So margins, cash conversion cycles. So cash conversion cycle means that how long it takes for you to, like, let's say today you spend money, you pay the supplier, okay, then how long does it actually take you to get that money back to your bank account? And, you know, the longer it takes, the worse the cash conversion cycle is. So overpriced product unit, expensive freight forwarders, low sales price and rank, bad payment terms, low expensive supplier, lack of experiments, knowledge, and then possible solutions. Negotiate better unit price. So this is one thing that, I mean, I would say that the first thing is really like talk with like other suppliers, not just trading agents. For example, Alibaba, I mean, you're going to basically find only small businesses or middlemen from that place, because I mean that's just what it's basically made for. So, but in long term, like you probably won't be using like Alibaba, but you know, when you're just starting out, it's actually a great place where you can quickly find some places where you can manufacture whatever it is that you're looking for. So, but the downside of Alibaba is that, like, majority of them, there are trading agents or trading agents pretending to be suppliers, but that's fine. But that's just something that we need to take it into consideration and ask these quotes from as many of these listings as possible. And another thing is that like oftentimes, especially when we are selling like products which cost where the selling price is just $20, and so then often the shipping is going to be shipping is going to cost more than the product itself, which means that if we are actually shipping larger quantities, then we are able to get the cost of a single unit lower. And if you're using Amazon Global Shipping, I mean, they actually give great prices. But what comes with cheap is slowness. So they are super slow and should really only be used for non-urgent shipments. So we also use Amazon Global Shipping, and they also give this upstream storage option, meaning that you can basically store inventory at there like for no added cost, which means that they're going to be shipping the units from that upstream storage to the fulfillment center, and there's going to be no additional cost for us, which also means that we don't have to worry about the limits and so on. But it's actually a pretty messy process, and they are like pretty slow. So I definitely don't recommend to use only this Amazon Global Shipping as the only option. So find good warehouses in US for fast restocking, and yeah, that's definitely one thing. And like when you're using freight forwarders, then typically you can store some units at their place for like pretty low cost. I mean, they do actually charge for that, like if depending on the time that you spend, time that you use their storage. But oftentimes, if it's just going to be low amount of time, then especially like when you're working with them regularly, I mean, they do give this option often that it's not going to cost that much. So which means that we are able to store inventory outside of fulfillment centers, which gives us better control in being able to, not end up with too much inventory inside of Amazon, but at the same time, we are not going to be running out of stock either. And then regarding these payment terms, well, one thing is manufacturing time. Well, I mean, it sounds super long if this isn't really like a complex product, meaning that it would take longer than 30 days. So, I mean, the only answer for that you get is that you talk to other suppliers and see what kind of like lead time they have. And there's mentioned this 37, meaning that you pay first 30%, so they actually start working, and then 70% after. Before they actually ship it out. But that's really the typical payment term you get with a new supplier, with a new factory, and you cannot necessarily expect better terms before really like building the relationship. And of course, like we talked a few weeks ago, that we have these experiences with suppliers that okay, we actually pay them after we have sold everything, but you're not going to get that until you have already used them for a certain time. I mean, maybe a few years or whatever, but at least like regularly ordering items from them. And just think about it this way. I mean, let's say that your listing, you have access to suppliers or whatever, and you're listing your factory inside or some website like Alibaba. I mean, just imagine how many tire kickers you get. Meaning people are just asking you, oh, they want super low price and they want super minimum order quantity and they want it fast. They want it yesterday, right? I mean, there must be huge amount of those kind of requests that they are getting all the time, every day. So obviously they don't have any kind of incentive to give people like the best terms already in the first order. So yeah, I mean, we need to build this relationship so that we are, you know, the real deal and the real business. But it basically only comes through time. So we don't really have much leverage in order to use to really get the best terms in the initial stage, if that makes sense. So by default, it's just, you know, it makes sense just to expect that, okay, this I mean thing you need to do when you're just starting out with a new supplier, and then basically batch by batch you would try to get like better deal all the time, if it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, payment terms are definitely something that you can get really creative when like building the relationship. And obviously, we always want to give the impression that, you know, you are in this for the long term and you are really looking to keep increasing the amount of orders all the time. Okay, and poor conversion, it's only 3%. Wow, I mean, that is actually super low. So first thing to, in that kind of thing, would be to start optimizing the product listings and looking the trend, like, okay, how many sessions there are, and is the trend going up or down, and in terms of CTR. But the challenge is that, you know, if the product listing is not optimized, then ads are going to be more difficult as well, meaning that you're going to be paying more for advertising if you're not able to if the product listing, if the traffic doesn't convert. But so first thing to do is really, I mean, fix the product listing, fix the conversion. I mean, at minimum it should be like 15% but even that isn't really amazing. But the point is just to do different kind of experiments to see that what is the thing that is gonna you know, make an impact. But I mean, oftentimes, I mean, price is the biggest factor in terms of purchases, but then it comes down to images and so on. What kind of thumbnail it is, and how well you are optimized for the keywords. So are you actually getting the right traffic to your listing? Okay, next is failure to successfully launch products. Price doesn't sell, inventory buffer. What root cause? Entering fresh niche all the time, and competitors to saturate the market as we go. Too slow. Loss of inventory and price. Periodical zero inventory effects, ranks, and continue to sales. Payment terms won't allow us to create a buffer. Then possible solutions, focusing on variations and same needs to lower the risk, being more careful with the product idea metrics, selling on other markets, new listings, current supplier, have stronger position for negotiating better terms and not accepting bad deals. Think proposition for prolonged payment terms, for example, 1 month after ship out. Yeah, so regarding these payment terms or not, I mean, payment terms, is that, yeah, you don't have that much like flexibility if you're just starting with these suppliers. But I mean, the best way to get this leverage is that, I mean, get new quotes to really get this leverage. And these flexible payment terms, I mean, typically they come only over time by building the relationship or leverage or some kind of creative solutions that would give this business some kind of guarantee of future business that they are going to be getting, meaning that you would basically give the impression to the supplier that, okay, I mean, and they really have a lot to lose if you actually decide to go with someone else. And regarding this failure to successfully launch products is that, I mean, if you launch products with this low risk, low budget approach, I mean, it's you know, it's only 50 units to test out the product idea, and you don't spend much time on images either, or any part of the like product listing, because at that stage you can already see that, I mean, is it picking up? Are you getting any kind of impact? And if not, if you really have to like put a lot of effort in, you know, getting it off the ground and everything, then it's gonna be it already like gives us some idea that well, is this really that good of a product opportunity? Because if it's this difficult in just getting the initial trades, then I mean, how difficult, I mean, is it going to be like this forever? Or I mean, is there any kind of even hope that it's going to be easier? And regarding the price, I mean, you know, market defines the price. And like to mention on Slack, like people don't want the best product because typically they are not willing to pay for it. They just want a good enough product with decent price. So there should really be like very, very good reason for people to pay that higher price, which we can get over time with this established listing, perceived value, or then maybe our product just has these all sorts of like extra features or extra, you know, extra amount of units or extra amount of add-on products or something else. But typically, if you are entering a market and you know the price is already like fixed, if it's cast in stone, it's going to be super difficult for us to justify to the market that why should they actually pay a higher price for us. And regarding this inventory buffer, so I mean, typically what we do is that, I mean, we have this rule that we gave to our like logistics person, supply chain manager, like is that, I mean, it's 2 + 2 months, meaning that you would store inventory worth of 2 months of global sales at the supplier, then 2 months of inventory directly at the either at Amazon, at the fulfillment center, or then at least in the target market, meaning that if it's US, then it has to be within a certain area of US, or if it's in Europe, then Germany typically, or UK. So that's kind of like simple approach how we how to make this inventory buffer. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's for example, if you're using the storage space from the supplier, then typically you don't even need to pay anything for it, because it also gives them this kind of like this guarantee of future business. If you're like all the time ordering units from them and then you don't even ship out all the units, like obviously they're going to be complaining if you keep storing inventory for 6 months and taking space from their like facilities. But typically they are fine with it, and which gives you this flexibility that you don't need to ship the whole of your order like immediately. No, you can basically get these like 1,000 units and then basically ship by like batches of 200 or whatever. And let's say that you are in the danger of running out of stock, then I mean, it gives this option that, okay, let's just quickly ship something by air and leave rest of the units either at the supplier or then, I mean, doing shipments by sea and so on. And that's what we had like often done, is doing these kind of combinations where we are kind of like running out of time, that we are running out of stock. Then we would send a certain amount of units by air, so we wouldn't run out of stock, and then, you know, rest by sea. But by sea, it's always going to take like several months to arrive. I mean, if you're shipping from US to from China to US, but you know, the cost benefits that you get from that, I mean, oftentimes it's going to be such a massive, such a massive difference.